It hurts now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I flare my nostrils a lot and I can feel it.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to another episode of Questlog. It's a weekly show about video games old and new. My name is Tyler Everett and I am joined once again by my good friend Brian Maxwell. How's it going, sir?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm real good. Wanna know why? Because it's episode 60, not a prime number, but a nice round one. And I like me a nice round number.
Multiple of 10.
Yeah. It
Makes a person feel good.
does, yep. Kat Maxwell joining us once again. How are you doing, Kat?
I am. Good, how are you?
I'm doing just super. I'm doing fantastic even.
I like it.
Yeah. And of course it wouldn't be a show without our buddy Luke Phillips. Luke, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
You sound good.
Yeah, I got a brand new microphone.
Yeah, shout out Blue Mics. Sponsor us, Blue Microphones. Shout out Mike and Blue Mics. All the mics. Anyway, yeah, you sound good, man. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, man, hey, boy, isn't it just one of the last days of 2017? Goodbye, 2017.
So long.
So long. You can just go right off into the night for all I care, and I am so ready to bring the new year in.
Way to censor yourself, Tyler.
Yeah, I did that. I held back a little bit. I think that's important. Going forward, as a country, as a people, I think having self-restraint is going to be important. You know, maybe don't just lash out and do the first thing that comes to your mind. Maybe, take a moment to consider the humanity. That's my
You know what?
message
That's
to
offensive.
them.
2017.
I'm offended.
But you know what? The good news is we have video games to make it all better. And we played some this week. Let's talk about it. Oh boy. Boy, did we play some games. Brian, I'm going to start off with a Brian game right off the rip. Because
Shoot.
I think I usually take off some of the big targets first. I want to take off one of these little guys. I've never heard of Slay the Spire before. But you played it,
Yeah.
and I want to know what that is.
That's an early access game.
Those are
Steam
hot.
is doing their stupid holiday stuff right now where you get trading cards and you craft badges and it's all really pointless.
Yes.
One of the things you do to get the stupid trading cards is you look at your discovery queue every day.
Basically look at
So-
ads. Yeah.
Just look at ads,
Mhm.
yep. So I was burning through that, and then I saw a game tagged with deck building and roguelike.
Okay.
And those are two of my favorite video game buzzwords.
Those
So
are both
I
good.
went and checked it out, and it had positive reviews, and it was not too expensive, so I done bought it. And I am loving it so far.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those rare cases of the targeted advertising really paying dividends there.
Yep.
It might as well have just said this is a Brian game.
Basically,
so what I need to know is how similar is this to Dominion?
Not.
Okay,
You're not really buying cards and adding to your deck frequently, but like after you finish a battle, you get to choose from 3 cards to add one of them to your deck. You've got like a merchant that you can visit to buy more cards and add to your deck, or a blacksmith that can modify the cards and improve them. Like you're just going from node to node, fighting enemies, and visiting the merchant and making camp.
Got the usual dopamine hits of like getting. How do you acquire new cards? Are those like a thing that you pick up, or is it?
Oh, you buy them at the merchant, or you get them after winning a combat. Or, like the bosses will give you better cards or trinkets that'll, like reduce the damage you take in combat or that sort of thing. You're just kind of moving from node to node like an FTL, seeing how far you can make it.
Gotcha.
There's only 2 character classes right now in the game. It ain't pretty. The graphics are. It's not a nice looking game.
What classes are there?
I can't remember the name, but one's a warrior. It's a warrior that heals at the end of combat and has a lot of blocking and a lot of just direct damage. And the other one does a lot of card drawing and poison. That does damage over time. I'm really digging it so far. Like, I really enjoy deck building games.
Combining that with a roguelike is kind of interesting. So, like, do you start just with a blank slate every time, or is there some kind of, like, behind the
You
scenes
get
progression?
XP. Like, after you lose, you gain XP based on how far you made it, and that unlocks new cards that can appear in your games
Okay.
now.
Cool.
So yeah, there's some progression.
You played a little bit the Hearthstone single player thing, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago I did.
Yeah. Is it that's a little different, right? Because isn't that just like, I want to say it's just the classic cards that are in that mode, or it's like a set. It's a set amount of cards. I don't think you unlock anything. I think it's like a true, you just go through and
Yeah,
play through this thing, and you get the cards that you get. But
I think so. That was fun, but it took me probably 5 or 6 tries to get to the end boss.
mhm.
And once I did, I just got absolutely crushed, and I just felt like, okay, well, I'm not gonna bother with this anymore.
Right. We've both put a considerable amount of time into Hearthstone, and that's another one of those where I feel like I'm not going to be that guy that like picks up a bunch of packs of cards and tries to be competitive on any of the ladders or anything. Like, I'll go in there and see
Nope.
what I got and open my free card packs when they give them to me, but I'm not looking to make that be my game,
Yeah, and like any game where you can spend money on it, and it's an endless thing where it's like, oh, I need to spend more money. I need to spend even more money now. Like, there's not a finite set of
Sure.
stuff to find or buy. That's kind of a turnoff for me.
And this game doesn't have any of that, I'm guessing.
Nope, there's no DLC or microtransactions that I saw.
That's rare for 2017, for all the loot boxes, all the, blind box stuff that's been going on. It's kind of refreshing to see a deck builder game that doesn't rely on those things.
Yep, yeah, it's just a little indie game, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
Cool, man. Good stuff. Let's see. Kat, you played some Tomb Raider, the 2013 edition.
I did.
What do you think of the now 4-year-old version of Lara Croft?
It's the first one I've ever played,
Yeah.
so I don't really have anything to compare it to.
Okay. It was the first Tomb Raider game that I had played too when I played it, like beyond just
Same.
like playing it at a friend's house or whatever.
How much stuff can she go through in like a 10-minute period?
Boy.
Like, just
Yeah,
All of it, apparently.
She gets roughed up
constantly.
big time.
Like,
Yep.
by all means, she should not be able to move at all. But she's a Croft, so apparently that's how they're bred. So
It's the cloth she's cut
I'm not
from.
really a first-person shooter. I usually put stuff on easy. I want the story. I want to play it. But oh my God, the way I have to repeat things over and over and over again for one little mistake. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
there's a lot of like quick time events, and you're falling down this hill. Make sure you hit hit left and hit right and hit X at the right time to duck under the branches and
Or you can
dodge
impale
all
in your
these
neck.
things. And
Yeah, those are pretty fun to see. Like, yep, I've been impaled 5 times in a row now, and I'm at a part right now where there's wolves, and they're looking for me in the forest,
Oh, that's
and
like- yeah,
I
right at
had
the
to redo
beginning.
that probably 8 or 9 times. And finally, I just like literally rolled myself up the stairs I needed to get to because screw this stuff.
hashtag video games. Yep.
Sounds
Just gonna tumble past all these people and
But I
animals.
can't put it down, Tyler. Like, I literally, at this point, I can't give up. Like, I can't let the game win.
It's well made.
The game's well made, the story's awesome, but the mechanics of it suck. Like, that way. If you're not that kind of gamer. I'm not a quick time event. Like, I panic. So, it's just...
Yeah,
I think
Rise of
you're
the Tomb Raider is not as difficult in that way. Rise of the Tomb Raider has a lot more puzzles, and the combat's a lot easier, more forgiving. Like, I'd kind of forgotten all the quick time events that are in this. When I saw her playing it, I was just like, shit, I'm sorry. I probably steered you wrong there.
I do like the auto, I can auto hit a lot.
Like aim assist?
Yeah, aim assist on that, which that's nice. But I find myself, I'm constantly running out of ammo and running around trying to find it. They have it set everywhere. It's just, I go through a lot.
I want to say that part with
a
the
lot more
wolves
harsh.
is pretty early on. I think once you get kind of established there, the game kind of pushes you more into these new environments and stuff, and there isn't as much of that like immediate you're going to die, you need to survive this right now kind of thing.
Well, I'm halfway through the game already, so
the wolves come back.
She's pretty far in.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Every time I look over and see what she's doing, something tragic and horrific is happening.
Okay.
How many times can she be fondled and shot at and drowning and burning and impaled?
You should just play Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's a lot less.
Yeah,
bad.
It almost felt like I
harsh.
was watching some kind of torture porn at some point, because I was like, boy, things can't get much worse for her right now.
Right.
There's creepy guys in caves and friggin'
the guy sniffed her hair and
yeah,
it was creepy.
giving off all kinds of
she's
real
been
bad
strung
vibes.
up upside down by her ankles, 3 times now?
3 times, yeah.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
Didn't even get an achievement for it.
I've had to shoot upside down multiple times.
I've been strung up on my ankles 3 times, and I didn't even get a gamer score point for this.
All I got was this lousy t-shirt.
I do like that you can change what she's wearing. I have her in this really cool leather vest and boots that are really cool. You can choose that. The whole campsite thing's neat because you can choose your skills. I mean, you have quite a few skills to choose from. Plus customizing your weapons. Okay, I don't really give a crap about the shotgun, but I want to do a bunch of bows or and have different arrows. Now I like all the weapons, so I'll shoot everything I got. Shotgun's my favorite so far. Just blast through everything.
I remember when I played her, I was trying to play her like a sniper. I put a bunch of stuff into the bow and accuracy and that sort of thing, because I liked just sneaking up on everything, taking out as many people as I could before I even started the fight, and I kind of played it definitely more like a stealth action game. But
I did that with the one part I was at with the wolves. I would find the highest area I could get them, and I'm just picking everyone off one by one, but it was never enough. I would get seen at some point, and I would die.
Start over.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're liking it. I hope you finish it, because I never did, and I want to know how the
I'm
ending
going to finish
holds up.
it because I'm stubborn.
That's cool. Well, good stuff. Hey, let's talk about Divinity Original Sin 2. Oh, it's loud. Hold on. Luke, why don't you start us off, buddy?
So just keeping at this game. I think I'm around 30 hours now, and it just continues to be amazing. Fantastic storyline, character interaction. Brian and I are pretty much at the very similar places right now, and at times I think we're playing completely different games because what he's seeing is way different than me.
Yep. Every time he asks me, "Oh, did you get the thing up? After the altar?" I'm like, "What altar? No, I didn't."
How did you solve this puzzle? I don't know how to get to the puzzle.
It's so funny. You guys are talking about persuasion checks and you're trying to talk your way out of these things, and the way I was starting to play my character was just start a fight with anyone who will talk to you and try to. I'm just thinking man, that's gonna be so funny when I get to those points where
toxic,
where they put all of this time and effort into trying to avoid a fight here, and I'm just gonna be is punch that guy in the teeth an option? Because here comes my fist.
It's always an option.
I started Losa.
Yeah.
And the summoner, that's pretty fun.
Real curious where her story's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Losa is the one where my god told me to kill her right away.
Same. Yep. I've had a few people be like, if she, like if she flinches or jumps or makes any sudden movements, just put one right in her head. Just don't hesitate.
I don't know how the beginning of your guys' story was, if it was very similar, but like summoners are not welcome in this land. Like they want us all dead.
That's all of us. That's source users. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, they weren't very keen on me, and I got to wear this weird thing around my neck.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I landed because my computer does not like this game.
Huh? Even if you like crank the settings way down and stuff, it's still.
I put it. Well, I have to play with it a little bit more, but I put the graphics to medium, and it still was like. How long was I in the loading screen? 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's crazy. Huh.
So it's a laptop. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that can get sorted out. But yeah, we all had the same start, and it was so funny because Ryan's just, you guys played it like a normal game, like, oh, here you are and whatever. And I was like, no, they got a collar around my neck. This is effed. I'm getting out of this situation. I don't want to be here. And she just started punching people on my way out of that boat. And I was convinced that I was gonna just play it like, no, my guy's a rogue, man. He doesn't care about anybody. And then
playing it like Diablo.
I was kind of playing it like Diablo too. I was like, where are the pants? I need new pants.
Yep.
But then I got to like some little kid, and he's like, boy, there sure were a lot of people still down there on that boat. And I was like, I don't care, kid. Cut the rope. Let's get out of here. And he's like, sure looked like you could help him, and it wouldn't be too hard. I was like, God damn it, fine.
wild card.
Fine, I'll go get him. And then it didn't pan out because I didn't make it onto the.
So,
But yeah, it's a cool game. I like that there's so many different options. It feels like when I try to think about it in my head, how hard it would be to program for all of that stuff.
Oh
It
yeah.
just kind of
So
blows
much.
my mind, like that there's that much flexibility in their storytelling and in their,
Yeah.
just like
I like being able to make choices, like what
Yeah.
my character decides. Like I like that they have like, okay, just some random choices, and they have, okay, this is what Losa would say.
right.
This is what as a mystic that you would say. This is what as
Right.
there was another one as a
Like
human you would say.
Outlaw, scholar, hero.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
noble.
fascinating. All I've seen was Losa, mystic, and human
Mm-hmm.
so far. So
And it sounds like there's like a lot of games give you those options, but it's kind of a farce. Like, okay, I can tell them to fuck off 3 different ways, and the dialogue
Right.
but you all
will
get to eat
change,
the
but
same.
it'll have the same effect. But it sounds like this actually changes gameplay. Like,
Yep.
I know I fought a lot more people than others have, and it's part of just the decisions that I'm making.
Yeah, so my guy has the scholar tag, so I'll have dialogue options for that pop up, and a lot of it would be like, like I'll recognize an old language and I can partially translate it because I've studied it in the
Hey,
past.
Lucas.
Yeah.
So Brian said you chose the Red Prince.
Uh huh.
Why?
Big lizard man.
He's a pompous
He's
ass.
fucking cool, man. He's on the selection. I almost chose him too. I was like, oh, I could be a big red lizard dragon dude. That's pretty
He's a
cool.
pompous.
He's a prince who was exiled from his people.
I was planning on killing him if I could.
Yeah, he started talking to me like I was the help, and that almost got him
He
removed.
called me a servant.
That almost
and I
got him
wanted to
removed from my
punch him.
party. But
I am playing him as a pompous prince who is turning his
Does he
ways
not know
now
better?
that he is out in the real world and seeing how things
Oh,
actually are in the world.
he's
So
a 1% getting to a little taste of the 99 out there.
Yeah.
I got
so
you.
he
I
doesn't
feel
really
you.
do a whole lot of the oh, you're just a servant.
That's good.
That is good.
It's like, oh, can you cook? No, but I can punch you in the stomach.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's so much to see in this game. I feel like you couldn't come close to seeing everything in one playthrough.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you were saying
I
today,
feel like-
Brian, you're like, this has just a butt ton of replay value.
I think you'd have to play it like 5 times to really just get the entire story of all the different characters.
It's cool.
But
So, what's
I ain't got
campaign
that
mode?
time.
We need to do campaign mode, guys.
I looked at it. There's a lot.
Yeah,
I looked at it and said, "Wow, that's impressive," and then I closed it.
there's this part of my brain that's like, if I ever get like a whole day to myself and I can convert our D&D campaign into that, like I want to try it, but I don't know. It seems like a pretty monumental task.
I hope
take a
there's a
look
way
at it.
just to import campaigns that other people have made, because that sounds a lot easier.
That's true. Then I don't get to like set up the town how I want it. Like I feel like if I crack that open, you guys won't see me until 2019. Like I'll just be gone.
Oh, it's January 2019.
Yeah.
Here's episode 61.
61.
Yep.
Yep. It's goodbye, Tyler. Last time we saw Tyler, he found out campaign mode in Divinity Original Sin 2, and we never saw
Yeah, I
him
read a
again.
few articles on it, and it just seems really intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
The flexibility is there. I guess when they were demoing the game at one of the cons or something, they had a promotion going with Wizards of the Coast, and one of the like most popular intro D&D modules got converted over for it.
Wow.
That's it.
Sounds pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out someday and report back and try out some stuff. See what happens. Hey guys, I played a little bit of World of Warcraft. I don't know if you guys knew I was playing that or not, but
Never heard of it.
yeah,
Is this a new game?
it's new. It's newish. I've been at it about a month now, and I'm really liking what I've seen so far. I think this game's gonna go places. I think they're really onto something here with this Warcraft thing.
Way to get us in on the ground floor.
Yeah. Now Legion's great. I just I leveled a warrior up to max level, and now I have two characters that can wear plate armor and wield big two-handed swords and stuff and shields. The warrior I'm doing a lot more PvP on, which is a thing that I kind of juggled with WoW in the past. I've never been like a real hardcore raider, but I have really liked the battlegrounds. And
I love Battlegrounds.
Arms Warrior is a blast to play in Battlegrounds. Not so much fun when you're just out questing, because a bunch of mobs can jump you at once and beat you up. But if you got a healer buddy and you're playing an Arms Warrior, you just rush in with your big two-handed sword and carve people to pieces. Do a bunch of burst damage. It's a lot of fun. So I've been bouncing back and forth between those two. Got a few other people. Shout out to Andrew out there. He started playing. He's leveling up a warrior himself. So I'm gonna try to play one of my low level guys here. Run some dungeons with him. Yeah, man, it's crazy. I thought I was kind of done with this game, and Legion's just sucking me right back in. It's all very, very good. Lots of different ways to pass the time. Like what they've done with the place, basically.
Fresh coat of paint.
Yeah. Yep, and it's all building up to really cool stuff happening in next expansion, Battle for Azeroth. So they seem to have really nailed the pacing. That was a big problem with the last expansion, Warlords. A big criticism was that like patches were way too far apart. People had nothing to do. You know, the end game progression just wasn't there. And this, they've been much more consistent about getting a patch out. I think like every 7 weeks or something. I want to say. That, don't quote me on that. That might be not right. But it's a lot more frequent. People are not as upset about it. And this next big patch is going to introduce a whole new leveling system, so that's going to spread out. So all the characters that you level from here on out will get to use the new Legion scaling.
Did you say that they're not that upset about it?
Well, I mean,
So the people on the internet are still a little bit upset?
of course, come on. Go to the Blizzard forums and you're gonna find
Don't.
people upset. I mean, yeah, don't do
Don't go to
that.
Blizzard
But
forums
if you
ever.
did, you'll find upset people. Yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun with it. And Luke, if you ever decided to resurrect your paladin, I would be there right there with you. I'm just saying.
Tyler, I tell you what, I would have by now if I didn't dive headfirst into Divinity.
Alrighty. Well, sometime when you finish that next year, maybe we'll revisit this.
give me another 70 to 80 hours.
Yeah. we'll put a pin in it. We'll come back to it. Good stuff. Hey Brian, what about Bravely Default? What's up with that?
That is a Japanese RPG for the Nintendo DS.
Okay.
Since I got one of those a month or two ago, I've been curious to check out some of the games I haven't had access to. This one I ended up trading back in at GameStop.
Wow.
Kept it for a few days and it didn't work out for me, so I got a refund on it.
I have a question.
Bought some other things. It's unapologetically difficult in a way that feels, it feels like a throwback to the old Final Fantasy games. I love the progression system in it. It's from Final Fantasy V, which is what Final Fantasy Tactics borrowed from.
Okay.
So you can change job classes and you can borrow skills from one job class to use in another, which I just love that kind of job system. God, I hate the way it looks though. The characters look just I can't ignore it. They look like dolls.
Those are
it just
toddlers.
looks
Yeah,
fucking terrible.
It's weird.
Like
That is real.
the writing is kind of cheesy and bad, but in a way that I expect from these games.
There seems to be
I hate the way things look.
There seems to be a very strange thing happening with the title and maybe a localization issue. Brave and Default are being used as like nouns.
The title is nonsense.
They seem to be describing
one of
systems that have weird names for no reason.
That's kind of its gimmick in combat. Is you can choose a default stance, which is basically like guarding, like you don't take an action, you take less damage, and you build up brave points. You can spend those brave points to take back-to-back actions. So I can do default 2 turns in a row, and then I can take 3 consecutive actions.
Get your brave on. And
Get your brave on.
Yeah, I should have written the tagline for this.
That isn't terrible, but
I mean the name is, but
yeah, the name is.
Yeah,
The system isn't. So I like the combat system. I like the progression, but it feels like a Final Fantasy game.
and you sure do look like a toddler doll.
Yeah,
That's weird.
it's not okay.
I have a question. How have you gone this long owning a 2DS and not playing Link Between Worlds? That is the real question that I have for you.
That's a 3DS game, correct?
I believe yes, which would play on your 2DS, right?
Not my old one. Like I've got an old fat 2DS from like 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It won't play on that.
Oh,
It will
gotcha.
play on the new.
I thought that's what you said you had. Or am I confusing the two? Yeah, one of those things, yeah.
Yeah, it'll play on this.
Yeah.
This is their new 2DS.
Gotcha. Yeah.
If that can play the 3DS games.
Oh, okay. So this is the old 2DS. Or the old DS. I'm so confused.
Nintendo, please.
Just put them all
No,
on the
technically
Switch.
it's not, but it can play 3DS games. It just can't do the
I gotcha.
it can't do the 3D stuff,
Right.
which I guess they kind of fell off of anyway.
Yeah, I hear.
I guess the 3D stuff was like, oh, that's really neat and cool, but
Yeah, I hear it's cool.
we don't
in
need it.
Zelda, like just to be that perspective, you're already looking down on it like that. It's a top-down game, so it looks like you're looking down into like a little box full of Zelda stuff. Like that's pretty cool. But
I looked at A Link Between Worlds, and it's still like $40 or $50.
Oh shit! Wow,
online,
I shouldn't be
so.
surprised by that actually. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for a used copy or something, I guess.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, sorry that Bravely Default didn't work out for you, but I also, I understand.
I traded it back in and availed myself of their buy 2 get 1 free thing they've got going on this week. So picked up Dragon Quest 9.
Dragon Quest seems
That's
like a slam dunk for you, Brian.
Yep.
Dragon Quest 8 was the best.
That's cool. I think all we got left is I played a little bit more of that their Zelda, that their Breath of the Wild, you guys. Turns out the game is pretty neat still. um, I recently got my hands on a new amiibo, an old amiibo. It's the Smash Brothers Link one that I've been after for a very long time. They just randomly had them in stock at GameStop, so I bought one up and got my new outfits for my Link and a new horsey, and decided to play around in that world a little bit more. And I just watched a thing earlier in the week, and Brian reposted it today. It was a video in defense of Breath of the Wild's music, because a lot of people have criticized the music as being, well, not there, rightly so. It definitely doesn't have a focus on those big, orchestral sweeping themes that
The stuff we've come to know from
the Zelda series is kind of known for. And it was hard for me to kind of articulate why I felt like that was okay in this entry. And that video, that if you just do a Google search for, I think it's in defense of Breath of the Wild's music, something to that effect. This guy goes into really, really good detail on how the music is used to evoke these feelings of loneliness and sorrow and burden and all of this stuff. And he even goes in to examine how, like, when you go into the Temple of Time, spoilers, I guess, and it's all ruined and broken down, and you hear like just fragments of a piano playing. It's actually playing the Temple of Time song, the Song of Time, but it's spaced out across this, long expanse, and there's bits and pieces of it missing. It's really, really interesting, and I think it does a really good job of explaining why the music that they use is perfect for this game. Yeah.
I will say that the Hyrule Castle sound when you're just going through and marching through the castle towards the end is fantastic.
That is the one time where, like, you just enter that zone and music starts right up and it goes full on, like, okay, this is game time. Like, here's you get bits of the old overworld theme. You get bits of I want to say the old from Link to the Past. I want to say it's the castle music when you're in Hyrule Castle. There's little bits and pieces of a bunch of different Zelda tunes. I want to say there's even a bit from Link's Awakening, the Ballad of the Windfish, is part of that whole medley, which I thought was really awesome. So yeah, I agree. That's definitely the highlight of it. But even just the overworld stuff, the little light piano notes and single instrument stuff is really, really good. And I don't know, it gave me a new appreciation for the sound design in this game.
I will say I like the shrine music a lot.
Shrine music's good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Shrine music's real good. Has this weird, like, techno
mystery, almost like sci-fi kind of
yeah.
feel to it.
Yeah, all the Sheikah stuff, even that they play little bits of that too when you're climbing the Sheikah towers, like the big towers in the game. You'll get like these little bits of that sounds like the shrine music, but it's all distorted because these are these big giant structures that were buried in the ground for over 100 years and come flying out, and they're seeing the light of day for the first time and entering into this broken world. It's such a cool idea. I just wish that they'd done a little bit more with the actual story to really flesh that world out, because there's so many cool ideas in this game.
I noticed that there was large parts of the game that didn't have any music at all.
Yep. Like
when you're just traveling out in the wilderness, and that really kind of just made it feel like you're out there by yourself.
I think
you just hear the wind and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that's I definitely think it's intentional, and I think they're using the title of the game pretty literally there. Like, you're hearing the sound of the wilderness. You're hearing just the your horse's hoof sounds. I don't know the right word for that. What is the right word for that? Hoof steps. I don't know.
Beats.
Yeah. You're hearing the wind, you're hearing crickets and birds and stuff, and like, I don't know, man. It
Yeah,
definitely nails that feeling of being alone, being on your
Yeah,
own.
it feels like you're going through the wilderness by yourself.
Yep, it's cool. It's cool. The more I think about it, if I put it in kind of like an abstract thought and on paper, the whole idea of this game is something I'm completely and totally in love with. I just have a few execution, gripes with it, but overall, it's really something, and I can pick it up and play it for, half an hour to an hour and be completely entertained, and then put it down and leave it for a week or two, and then come back to it. It's something that there's always little extra things to explore and little things to check out, and just running around and exploring that world is still really fun. So I'm very happy with that purchase for sure. Well, let's hop into some news, shall we? Here's my news. There it is. Yeah, we got a little news. The news music this thing. Anyway, hey, remember the Xbox One? Everybody?
Is that still a thing?
Yeah. Hey, it's getting an app called Kodi. Maybe you guys have heard of it. Kodi? I don't know. It's a media player app. It's very popular. Back when I worked at Best Buy, when I worked at insert big box electronics store here, it was very popular to put this app on Kindle Fire Sticks and all kinds of stuff. And why is there an autoplay video on this thing? That's not okay. And mirror.co.uk. What are you doing to me? Don't sponsor us. Oh, good job, Luke. All right.
Yep.
Anyway,
BTW.
It's coming to the Xbox One, you guys. It's coming right from Microsoft. I think it's interesting that I guess this is how that app originally started. It started out as an Xbox app, and they're kind of coming full circle and coming back onto the Xbox One. But yeah, it's basically a thing that allows you to get different streams. You can get different. I think they use like a kind of repository of sorts, so you can get streams from different channels and stuff that you would normally be able to access. I think you can get stuff like Netflix and all that through there. It's supposed to be kind of a unified streaming portal. I don't know.
So,
seems cool.
Still no good exclusive titles, but
Luke,
they got that Kodi app.
I think it's interesting that the Xbox has always been the best media streaming device, the best media, home media player, and they're gonna have this too. So kind of keeps filling that one checkbox there. It's maybe not the one everyone wants, but it is definitely good at this. So
some things don't change.
Yeah.
If I could funnel everything through one app, that would be great.
I think the only thing it doesn't do is the Xbox Blu-ray player. But I think most everything else can come at you right through this Kodi app. So
Not sure if that's what this is, but there's a lot of times where it's like, was this on Hulu or was this on Amazon?
Right.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that is something that you can do with this. Is just kind of unify that experience, search all of it at once, and kind of grab it all from one spot. So there you go.
Well, I'm gonna run out and buy an Xbox now.
I will try this out on mine for sure. I will report back once that becomes available. Yeah, check that out. Hey, the Nintendo Switch got hacked, you guys. Hacksaws. At a conference in Germany, apparently a team of hardware hackers demonstrated how they could exploit something in the NVIDIA chip, I think, that the Nintendo Switch uses. I haven't read anything that explains what they're able to do with that. I don't know if it just lets them bypass the, security stuff that's in place so that you can sideload apps or games or whatever on it, but apparently it happened. It's a thing. Hide your switches. They're hacking them. They're out there hacking switches, guys.
Hide your wife, hide your kids.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time ever for these things. I mean,
Yep. And I think something about the Switch in general feels extra hackable. I don't know why that is. Like I know it's very locked down, but I think it's partly because they don't allow any of this stuff. It's kind of inviting people to try to get their own homebrew stuff running on it and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm fully supportive of this because I'm kind of sick of waiting for Nintendo to add features that I want to that thing. So,
For as much as I love the Switch, it's amazing how many things Nintendo still gets wrong in 2017.
Yeah.
Like, good
Some
for
of the
them that they
basic
had Zelda and
features that
Mario.
aren't there.
Yeah, just well, we've been over it. Nintendo, please. But
no, please.
so many
Where's my virtual console?
non-user friendly things and
Mm-hmm.
things that have been solved by Microsoft and Sony
For
10
for
years ago.
years. Yeah. It blows my mind that one, I'm grateful that I can have different profiles set up on it. That I can just add a new profile and those person's saves will all get linked to that. But like, if I hand this to my daughter and she decides to click on my profile instead, I've got nothing to stop her from doing that. There's no code to put in. There's nothing there's no parental thing to prevent that. If she just wants to just delete all my Zelda saves in an afternoon, that can happen. That's just kind of wild to me. Like I think my PayPal account is tied to that for buying stuff through the eShop. And the only thing that pops up, it's like, who's using the eShop? It just, Dad is, of course. So I don't know. I have a laundry list of things that I would like them to fix.
Yes.
And
yeah, the friend codes and the voice chat. And,
hey, look, man.
That they sell games that are downloadable, that there's not enough internal memory to install the games. You have to buy a memory card.
Look, I'm sure if we were to get
Tyler,
Reggie...
You need to answer for these things now, Tyler.
I'm going to get Reggie to show up on the show, and Reggie's going to tell you that...
Hey, we hear you.
That Nintendo values your feedback, and we are working very hard to bring you the very best games that only Nintendo can bring to you. And I'll remind you that Zelda and Mario are both available right now for the Nintendo Switch. And then we will brush that under the rug, and we will move on. Yeah, Yoshi does look pretty cool, though. You're right.
Yes, it does.
He's all made of yarn stuff, I think. Isn't he? Or is that a different one? He looks fuzzy, doesn't he? Doesn't he look fuzzy?
That might be a different one.
Yoshi's Woolly World, was that a Wii U thing? Am I confusing the two?
I think it was. No one knows. No one
cares.
Oh, my Yoshi timelines are blending, you guys. I don't know what to do with myself.
3 people have played that game in the entire world.
Oh, man. Rob pointed out something good. It could be worse, you guys. They could have made it a proprietary memory card. We could have had to buy like an $80 thing that never dropped in price.
You have to buy it from them.
Yeah. Sony was real good at that. Oh, you gotta have an M2 card. You can't have an SD card. It's gotta be a Sony Micro Plus. Sorry. I'm making that up. Sponsor us, Sony. I'm just kidding. You're fine. It's all good. Yeah. Hey, speaking of Nintendo, remember their sweet online service that was gonna be like pay for a monthly service and you get access to all their sweet online offerings and like you get to rent a game for a month or something? Remember that?
Oh, the one that's coming out like any day now?
Yeah. It was all going to be out by like the end of the year. It got delayed.
Oh. Surprise.
Probably almost another year. Fall 2018, everybody.
Oh. Wow.
I don't think this is a surprise at all.
They have time to make it appealing.
If I were Nintendo, I would be trying to make everyone forget that I ever said anything about an online service at all. Like,
because it ain't coming.
If I were in Reggie's shoes, I'd be like, "What online? What? What did you say? What online? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Remember, we have Zelda and Mario. Just want
10 out of 10. Yep.
10 out of 10. Game of the year. I don't know if you heard. Yeah, I think I was almost like I was apprehensive to flat out worried about when this was going to take effect because I had no intentions of paying for it and I was worried that it would actively make the experience worse. So they have a lot of work to do to change people's minds about what this online thing is going to be when it becomes available. So I guess we'll see. We'll see sometime in fall of 2018.
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe.
They could just scrap this whole thing and it never comes out.
That's true. That is true. Well, let's, instead of dwelling on the news of 2017, look forward. Let's peer into the future and think about what we're excited for in 2018 as we round the year out here. What are you guys most excited for? What's on the top of your list? Give me like top 3. What do you got?
Well, for me, it's Dragon Quest XI. I'm hoping it comes out in North America this year. I don't think they've formally announced it, but pretty sure it's going to happen.
So what? Forgive me, Brian. I'm not up to snuff on my Dragon Quest knowledge. Is there a 10, and did you play it?
10 was an MMO that was Japan only, I believe.
Okay.
So no.
Okay.
9 was for the DS. So 8 was the most recent, like, console, like North American console only.
Can I make a request to Japan? Hello, Japan. My name's Tyler, and I have a humble request. Could you please stop using the same number and name conventions for your MMOs as the main games in your series? That is all. Thank you very much. Keep being weird.
Are you talking about Final Fantasy and
Dragon Quest?
So,
yes. I mean,
so more of a Square Enix.
Okay.
Square Enix, please.
I feel like Square Enix can speak for Japan openly at this point. But you're not wrong. Yeah, I mean, that's confusing. Like, oh no, Final Fantasy 11 and 14, those are both online-only MMO things. But 13 isn't, and 10.2 isn't.
Right.
Yeah, 10.2 is different than 14. Maybe that's why they did that. Or 12. I don't know. I can't keep track. Anyway, Dragon Quest.
Yeah, Dragon Quest. I'm cautiously optimistic for Sea of Thieves. We've talked about that a little bit.
Luke, you were on the hype train for that one.
If all the planets line up,
it looks like a pretty cool
it'll be great. But there's a lot of points of failure between now and then.
Sea of Thieves, is that a Microsoft deal?
Yeah, it's Xbox
PC and
Xbox. PC. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic for it.
Yep.
It could be a total flop, or it could be fun, or somewhere in between.
I don't remember any games off the top of my head that I'm looking forward to in 2018.
Detroit Become Human's one of mine. Like, I want to play that one.
I was excited to play that game. I mean, I was excited to come over to your house and play that game because I don't know play that game. But the more I've seen of it, the more I'm just like, I would rather watch Brian play that game, or let Brian tell me about playing that game than actually play that game. It looks real heavy and real. I don't know. I'd have to be in a very guarded state of mind, I guess. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you have to be with those kind of games. It's just like the same thing with Heavy Rain and what's the other one?
Honestly, Hellblade has been kind of like that.
Oh boy,
I've been not in a mental state to replay Hellblade yet. Like, going back to that, it seems like a pretty big task.
Mm-hmm.
It can be gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
I think
Stressful and
harrowing.
Yeah,
very
challenging.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to know for some of these. Like, I don't know. In this day and age, so many games are early access, and that means less and less. Like, some of the games I'm looking forward to are games that are already out.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Is it like you're talking like early access stuff?
Yeah, like Dead Cells.
Yeah.
I played probably 10 hours of Dead Cells, and it's amazing, but I don't want to, burn out on it.
Sure.
So I want that to come out, but
I hear you.
It's already out.
Yeah, one of the games I'm looking forward to most in 2018, I've already put like 30 hours into.
Which one is that? Subnautica?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No surprise there. Speaking.
But at least that's coming out like I think sometime next month.
That's at least you're not gonna have to wait forever for it, huh?
And Far Cry 5 is coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob emailed the show here he did that at mail@questlogcast.com, everybody. If you want your email read on the show, be like Rob and send us an email, because Far Cry 5 is on his list of most anticipated games for 2018. I forgot about that. That is on my list as well. I really, really enjoyed Far Cry 3,
Yeah,
as
3 was
well
really good.
as the Blood Dragon DLC and the trying to remember. Oh, and Far Cry 4 was pretty good too. Remember that one time, Luke, we played Far Cry 4 together? Remember that one time?
Yeah, for all of like 90 minutes.
What a 90 minutes it was. It was so good. We were riding a 4-wheeler together, and
It was a truck.
Was it a full truck? No, it was a 4-wheeler. It was a quad, because we flipped it, and you could see like our heads were stuck under the ground as the thing.
You were stuck under the ground, and I was sliding down a mountain like I was Legolas.
Oh, you were on top of it, like
Yes.
surfing it, and I was
Yep.
stuck in the passenger seat with my head under the ground, being just viciously carved into the earth. And it was amazing.
Sounds like the right kind of dumb.
Yeah,
It was just so stupid, and just it was a weird glitch, and we were never ever gonna have any more fun in that game. Nothing was ever gonna top that moment, so we just quit.
I was just
Install.
like, what is going on? I can see like the curvature of the earth. I'm upside down, and I can see through walls, and I'm
Kind of the Earth's flat.
seeing behind the curtain. It was all crazy.
Yeah, Rob's got a few on his list here. Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying Rise of the Tomb Raider quite a bit, so if they can keep that train rolling,
Oh my God! What if it's like?
be happy.
What if it's like Shadow of Mordor, and Lara Croft becomes possessed by a wraith, and she has to
Open loot boxes.
just to open loot
The
boxes
to free her soul,
and talk smack with orcs as she traverses through.
and becomes an insanely boring character, too.
Oh, come on. Talion's not that bad. Okay, he's that bad. That bad. Yeah, I'm going to go through Rob's list here, because some of these might excite. Dragon Ball Fighters Z.
Nope.
I didn't even know.
Keep going.
I wasn't looking for you to necessarily thumbs up, thumbs down these, Luke, but I appreciate the effort. Gorn looks real cool. It's a VR game where you just dismember the shit out of people. It's ridiculously
Might be
over the top.
therapeutic.
Like blood just comes flying out of everything. It looks ridiculous. It seems really fun.
I'll give a thumbs up to that one. That sounds good.
Here's the thing. He mentions it's one of the better things for VR because you don't have to teleport around. You can move around without teleporting. I'm way into that because that's a deal breaker for me. Skyrim VR sounds amazing, but if I gotta like teleport and then stand still in a bunch of places, that's a deal breaker.
I think there are different movement options for that one.
There are, yeah, but
I haven't played it.
that one is one I don't want to engage with in any way whatsoever. So
We'll never get you back.
yeah, well, that's true. That too. Crackdown 3. I have zero reference for the Crackdown franchise myself, but I know it's a super popular one, and
I finished the first one. It was kind of a dark horse, like, oh, this is a really pleasant surprise. This is kind of fun. And then I think now they're trying to peddle it like it's a, system seller kind of a franchise. And
Was that the one that had
kind of a
Terry
generic
Crews in the
cop.
trailer?
I think in a trailer, yeah.
Yes.
That's right. It was at E3.
Terry Crews.
You're cops that can jump over buildings, and it's again good dumb fun, but
The runaround was real good in those games.
yeah.
You got we mentioned Far Cry 5, God of War, man. If there's anything out there that would get me to pull the trigger on a friggin' PS4, it's God of War.
Yeah, and he mentions a little bit. I hope they kind of, give Kratos a little more depth, because all I know of Kratos is he's just super mad, and that's kind of been there, done that.
They've
Like, yeah, you're so edgy and angsty and full of rage. I get it.
They've also toned down his look a whole lot. Like, he doesn't look like as what did they call him in the old games? The Ghost of Sparta. He was like painted white and had like really over the top red war paint all over him, and he was basically naked the whole time. It was a very offensive offensive visual for me. I was just like,
Offends my
I was just,
delicate sensibilities.
I couldn't hang with Kratos. He was too much for me. He was too much man for me. But no, new Kratos has a beard, which there's a thumbs up from me. And it's all like Norse mythology now, which I'm way more into. So God of War looks real cool. Spider-Man, another PS4 exclusive. It looks really, really good. It seems to be set in kind of the... I don't think it's really the Sony universe or the Marvel universe that they've just... It's not the movies, it's kind of more the comics, I want to say. Looks real cool. Sea of Thieves we talked about. MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. That's I can't believe MechWarrior's still going strong. That's cool though. I'm a supporter of that. Shadow of the Colossus. Brian?
I kind of largely missed that one, so I'd like... Yeah, I'm interested.
I remember that was like... When that came out on PS2, I was super hyped for that and bought that like day one. And I don't regret that purchase at all. That was a fantastic game. Bayonetta 3. Those are very, very, very well reviewed games.
I just can't get into the whole aesthetic. It's unique. It's its own thing, but it ain't for me.
Yeah. And Soul Calibur 6, man, Soul Calibur games are great. As far as fighting games go, like Soul Calibur and Mortal Kombat are the two that I have gotten really into in the past, and
Soul Calibur's my jam.
Yeah.
I had a Dreamcast that was like, yeah.
Rob says that Tekken 7 was treated really, really well. So hoping that they can keep that legacy going with Soul Calibur. There's some neat characters. It's all, really goofy and over the top. You got a big lady in a dominatrix outfit that has a chain whip thing, sword. Ivy. Yep. You got who's the real goofy dude? I think it's Yoshimitsu. He like hops around on his sword.
The big like samurai dude. Yeah.
It's a bunch of crazy characters, but it's cool. It's a very, very fun fighting game, and I would definitely pick that up.
Voldo, yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
The dude who like crab walks with the weird claws.
He does like this back walk
he's
thing. And, yeah, he's real. There's a lot of uncomfortable crotch movements that happen with him.
Sung Mina was my jam.
Oh yeah. Mitsurugi, I want to say. I'm having all these flashbacks now.
Yeah.
I think Soul Calibur 2 was the one I played a ton on my GameCube.
Yep.
Soul Calibur Aldo. Oh yeah, he had the crazy hand thingies.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got some kind of crotch adornment going on. It looks like a spider. He's got a spider crotch, you guys. Take a gander at that. That is something.
Okay. It's already uninviting. I guess he's just going to lean into it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, this guy's horrible, and he's going to put his spider crotch on you. Okay.
Like Hellraiser with a dominatrix outfit.
Oh, that's unpleasant.
Oh.
Okay. Maybe I don't need Soul Calibur. Just kidding.
Change plans.
No, there's a lot of cool stuff coming in 2018. I just needed a little refresher. So thank you, Rob, for sending us your list. And hey, if you feel like sending us yours, you know where to do it. It's mail@questlogcast.com.
Send us your favorite games of 2017, since that's what our next episode will be.
Yeah. Hey, we even have an easier way to do that. If you don't want to type all those letters in, instead type these ones. It's questlogcast.com/survey. It's a one-question survey. You just click a button and you can type in what your favorite game of 2017 was. It's an ongoing poll that we'll keep open until we do our Game of the Year show next week. Thank you guys for joining me, and thanks for showing up in the chat room. You can do that at twitch.tv/questlogcast. Big thanks to Visager for our music that we use in the show. It's from his album Songs from an Unused Video Game, I want to say. Is that what it's called? Unmade Game?
Right.
It's from an
Something
unmade
world. Songs from an unmade world.
Unmade World, that's it. Songs from an Unmade World by Visitor. You can check out more of his stuff at visitor.bandcamp.com. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the last little bits, the last moments of 2017.
Happy New Year!
And let's all get hyped for 2018.
Hype.
Bye!
We will catch you guys next week. Goodbye.
Take care.
Goodbye.